Hello, happiness abounders, and welcome back. Today, I'm excited to discuss our fourth installment of the Spiritual Self-Care Week, and that is to dive into the topic of your inputs. So, what does that mean? If you're a longtime listener of the show, you know I've spoken about inputs before, but really it's anything that you are bringing into your life and your space. So that can be the music and podcasts that you listen to. That can be the kind of food that you eat. It can be the kind of TV shows that you watch, the magazines and books that you read, the social accounts that you follow, and so on and so on. Right? So how does that align with spiritual self-care? I think that way too often we are bombarded by so many things that we very, very rarely have time to enjoy the small, simple things. And when we aren't watching our inputs, the things that we tend to enjoy don't necessarily add value to our spirit or to our life in the grand scheme. Now, this may be a little controversial. Some of you may listen to this and be like, nope, I'm out. Because I'm going to say something that I think you might not like. But you know that favorite TV show where everybody dies and you're so invested? Is it really providing value to your life? You know that favorite podcast that talks about all those crimes that have never been solved and walks you through it all the way so you're so invested and you want to find out how it ends, only to find out that it has never been resolved? Is that really providing value? What I mean by providing value in this instance as a form of spiritual self-care is it providing light? Is it something that lifts the weight of the rest of the world? Or is it entertainment for entertainment's sake, but really it just feels heavy? What about that song that's got that killer beat? And it's like, yeah, I could totally dance to this. But when you start to sing the lyrics, it's heavy. I don't mean heavy in like depressing kind of way, but I mean heavy in feel it in your body, just oof, sinking. When we aren't watching our inputs, and we aren't paying attention to what's bringing light or what is positive versus what is neutral and negative, and we are purposefully setting aside our time for entertainment, if you will, for things that don't bring that joy, don't really provide the kind of value that we would want in our lives, it's time to reevaluate. Which is why I said some of you may not like this, because I'm not here to tell you what TV shows to watch. I'm not here to tell you what podcasts to listen to, what social media accounts to follow. But you're here because there's something that you want better in your life. You want to be happier. And so this is a question and an evaluation of, are what you are bringing into your life, does it provide true value? And in true value, does that mean it is contributing to your ultimate happiness? Some of you may know this, but I stopped watching rated R movies a long time ago. Not because they were bad, not because I have this moral compass or a religious affiliation, or not affiliation, but a religious idea of how things should be, but purely because I often found that after the movie, I would feel so heavy and depressed, and I would think about it, and it would like permeate my mind. And I was like, is this the stuff I really want to be thinking about? Is this the stuff I want to be investing my energy in? It's the same thing. I have people be like, oh, I love podcasts. Tell me about your podcast. And I'm like, well, why don't you tell me about the kind of podcast you listen to? Oh, I love true crime and unsolved mysteries and the news and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. My show is all about positivity and daily happiness. And that may not seem like very different sides of the spectrum, but to me they are. Because If I'm obsessed with happiness and joy and bringing my life to those next levels, I have to watch what I'm inputting. If I'm watching true crime and I'm watching all these things, or I'm listening to all these pieces of information, I'm reading all these articles about all the things that are bad in the world, how do you think I'm going to see the world? How do you think I'm going to handle emergencies and stressful situations? I'm going to handle it the way that I've been inputting, which could make things worse. Or a stressful situation and my brain's going to immediately jump to the worst thing possible because all I've been doing is seeing and hearing and taking in all the worst things possible. How am I going to start a business that I have to trust people and I have to really love people if all I'm doing is hearing about how terrible the world is and how people are backstabbing and betraying and kidnapping and doing all of these terrible things? It's not a setup for success. I'm going to say that right now. You have to watch what you are inputting in your life because it will bring you down. If the types of things you're putting in your life do not bring you lightness. And that goes back to following what speaks to your soul. Does it bring you lightness in your body, or does it bring you that heavy, heavy weight in your gut? When you think about how you just watched that entire series and you wish there was more and you were this character and this character, when you're thinking about it, does that voice in your head get dark and sarcastic and aggressive, or is it light and comforting and joyful? After you watch those kind of movies, or after you listen to those kind of things, or even after you're scrolling through a social media thing that makes fun of and belittles other people, sit there for a second and just feel the energy around you. Is that what you want? If it is not my place to say otherwise, but I really, really want to hit home on things like you've always wanted to start your own business, or you really wish that you had a better network of friends, or you just want to up-level your life in some way. You want to lose weight, even. That's really hard to do when you can't trust other people because all you're doing is seeing all the bad things in the world. It's really hard to do when your brain is clicked into wanting to solve that mystery or understand why someone did that crime, instead of wanting to solve your own problems and creating those solutions and dedicating your brain power to how you can take your life to the next level, not why that person did the things they did. It can make such a difference to see and hear what you're actually bringing in. The songs, the podcasts, and even the food, right? If you're bringing in junk food, you can feel like junk. And the same thing can happen mentally and emotionally and intellectually as it can physically. Right? So what junk food are you eating? Auditory, right? What junk food are you listening to? What junk food are you watching? What are the inputs you're bringing into your life? So that's what I want to challenge you with today, is to see what inputs you're bringing into your life and see if they are adding value, if they are bringing lightness. Because if they are, that is a form of spiritual self-care. And if they are not, start to turn things around and see what really works for you as your new form of spiritual self-care. Do those things that bring that light and that joy. So I'm going to leave you with that today. I know I got a little preaching on my high horse, but I firmly believe this can make such a difference. And I'm not telling you what to do or what to listen to or not listen to, but I am asking you for your own happiness to really evaluate those things in your life. So that said, have a wonderful day. Evaluate those things in your life. Watch your inputs and see what brings you that lightness, that happiness, that joy. And above everything else, remember, you are capable of happiness abound.